Softness is power when it's used appropriately. Tension in the body cuts off power. The closer tension is to the point of impact, so in other words, if I'm tensing at my wrist to hit, then you're really hitting from your wrist to your fist. And what happens is most people, you can hit them as hard as you want with that. They won't like it, but they can take it most of the time. Now, that is different than putting intention to the end of your fist. I'm not talking about intention, I'm talking about tension. And so if the tension's there and it's cut off, you're just hitting them with the end of your hand, and it's just not much more force than I'm hit, for me, at least at the moment, than what I'm hitting my hand with now. I could take that. I wouldn't necessarily like it to the head, but it would not be a dropped you, stopped you kind of a situation. It'd be a, ow, what are you doing, right? The more relaxed you are, the more body mass you can transfer. And obviously we dealt with this some, or we worked with this quite a bit in the push hands video and workshop. Push hands for combat, for actually application. All right, so now we're going to do it with pushes against a pad, and I'll demonstrate first, and then I'm going to let our group do it. Bring me that out here, please. Quickly. Here, give me a hand there. Yep. And so, let me have one of you that doesn't mind being thrown up against the pad. Is that you?
I'm already sitting here.
Okay, so come up here. What I want you to do, and I'm going to face you this way so the camera can see you. In other words, I'm going to throw you at an angle.
Okay.
So come this way, right? And that way I'm sending you there. You'll come off that way. They can hopefully, can they see that at home pretty good? Great. Step that way, half a step. Good. And go about half a step back. All right. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to you can even kind of come here. I want you so that if I'm doing what I just did, you're not going anywhere, right? And so right now I'm pushing him with the normal, what you'd think of that way, right? Come back and do it again. And I'm looking for him. You can tell I'm having him give me a bit of resistance there. So then in this water flowy soft, and so what I'm doing here literally is, notice that from this I've got this float this way, and I want my whole body to have that quality so it looks more like I'm I don't know the word for it, but looks more like I'm just being as soft as I can be, which is kind of right. And it's that. Okay. You good? So come back in there. And yeah, come this way a step. Make sure you're braced up. Yep. Okay. What do you weigh these days? About?
330.
About 330. Okay. Okay, so Scott's going to do his push there.
All right, so I'm doing it.
Do it the best you can. Okay, so come back in. So Scott, you've got frame going on there. In other words, you've got good structural position. But now melt that while keeping the up and down and not violate, not bending over or being twisted or contorted, but as much as you can, soften and relax everything. See how my legs here are actually moving? Wiggle your knees and move and get it all the way through to your feet, hips, everything. Now turn your spine a little more. Now softer up and down a little. Keep that quality. Now, obviously, you're doing that to work on it for now, but you don't want to have to do that every time. So you're doing that to train it, and then you want to get it so that, hey, I want that quality on, and that quality's on as you. So if I was here, I'm not gonna push you, but I'm gonna come up to you. I don't want it to be, hold on a minute, attacker. But in my training, I'm working all this, and then if I'm really needed it, boom, I want to be able to be there with that quality instantly, but in training, you're going to have to spend some time working the quality, right? So get that quality that we're talking about, and then when you step in there, keep that quality. To you, it'll feel like, I'm so light, he's not going to go anywhere. But your mind is going that way. It's almost like I've got a little something light, but it's somewhat delicate, but I am tossing it, and I'm tossing it. Notice that was a lot stronger of a of a push to him, even though it was less to you. Now, the lighter you go, while keeping your mind intent that way, of just, here you go, that will be that much more juice. Now, that time you put power into it, right? Think about getting your hands to him and still being light and continuing through as your hands get to him. So you don't want him to feel impact from your hands. Now make sure he's aimed towards this and not somewhere else. So everything's got to go soft. Everything's got to go soft. Wiggle your knees. Make sure your feet actually feel like they're flowing and spread and sort of dropping and melting across the floor. And then the more softer water, no effort quality you can make it, the better it is. Notice that had a lot more to it, and yet you use less. That's so, and then he'll have to work on it from there, but that was a very good start.